Well, throughout the story of my life, I've had, different dreams at different stages. And for me, growing up, I was a preacher's kid, and my dad just has this love for sports, which was passed on to me. And so, growing up, the number one thing on my priority list was sports. And I was in the gym playing basketball. I was out on the field playing football and baseball nonstop. That's what I loved, and so people are always surprised to say, well, it wasn't music first? I said, no, it wasn't music first. I loved music, but it was all about sports. And going on through high school, I grew up in the Chicago suburbs, and I was a first baseman, left-handed, and I was having some really good seasons as a high school student. And I remember the Chicago newspaper there, the Sun-Times, had listed an article kind of listing the top college prospects at each position, and I was the #1 college prospect for first baseman. And that to me was my ticket punched, So my teachers, I remember my senior year, my teachers in my classes were like, how come you're not doing your work? And I was like, I'd push over that article in the Sun-Times and that's how come I'm not doing my work. I'm gonna go play for the Cubs. And it turns out I couldn't hit a curveball. Turns out there were college scouts coming to our games. They weren't looking at me though. I thought they were looking at me. They were looking at my buddy who got drafted, the center fielder. And that's when I began to turn my attention towards a new passion, which was music. And that's when I began to step into my sweet spot. It wasn't about sports at all. So, that was the beginning of a series of things that I would call like the best, worst thing. That's how I've always described it. It's sometimes the worst things that happen to you in your life really are the best things that happen to you, because God uses it to redirect your passion, redirect your attention, and to really remind us that His dream for us is bigger than our plan.
Sometimes finding home isn't always a direct path. Visit FocusOnTheFamily.com/thrive. That's FocusOnTheFamily.com/thrive.